What is up, guys? Welcome back. Today's deep dive is wild. Our main dude literally respawns as an absolute space terror. Buckle up, cause this story goes hard. He wakes up as a wild extraterrestrial hunter, rocking an overpowered system built purely for snacking and leveling up. Bro started out as literal space dirt, but his cheat code ability to infinitely upgrade basically broke the universe's entire rulebook. At level 1, all he could really munch on were these totally sad, tiny serpents. But after some hardcore grinding, his main targets became big brain humanity. Max out that skill tree, and swallowing the whole galaxy was definitely on the menu. Right out of the gate, though. But fate threw him a massive upgrade right away. Pure pain totally wrecked him for a sec, and boom, his very first shell shedding was in the books. His stamina bar instantly flashed red, making him crazy starved. He absolutely had to grab a quick bite to stay in the game on this human cruiser. Going full ninja mode was non-negotiable. Good thing his built-in species perk worked like a cheat radar for danger. Sneaking into the food stash, he went totally goblin mode on the snacks. Out of nowhere, something creepy shuffled in the dark right behind his back. Pure survival reflexes totally took the wheel. His sharp tail whipped out, completely spearing a freaky mutant roach. Watching the bug squirm, he was insanely hyped. Top-tier DNA. Right there. He completely demolished the bug, instantly popping out sick new fangs, but moving around wrecked his energy bar fast. He desperately needed an epic buffet to fill his stats back up. Getting the hang of his new fatal chomp meant eating a literal ton of food. And just like that, the ultimate roach-clearing side quest on this spaceship kicked off. Farming all those bugs got him this insane, bulletproof armor. Total bummer, though the system wouldn't let him copy the roach's endless health glitch. That specific perk would have totally stopped him from needing snacks every 5 seconds. It was basically a must-have to avoid a game over screen. After deleting 528 roaches, he fought. Even with his totally buffed stats, things were still super sketchy. He was still stuck on an enemy human ship, and giant red flags were everywhere. His upgraded hearing caught a massive crowd of boots heading straight for the storage room. These guys were top-tier mobs he completely needed to wipe out. He absolutely had to level up past the noob stage before this ship finally parked. Ghosting out of there, he aimed for the freezer section right next to the power core. It was a super VIP, totally empty spot. Scooting through the air ducts, he hit a major roadblock, a crazy fast industrial fan. Smashing it would instantly trip all the security alarms. Carefully popping the grill off, he completely turned on his built-in slow-mo vision. Doing the math to find the perfect split-second gap, he completely yeeted himself through the fan. Smack, one of the blades clipped him mid-jump, but shout out to his brand new heavy-duty tail. It completely bounced the dangerous hit off without a single scratch. Pushing further into the creepy vents, he completely overheard some guys talking. Listening in just dropped some seriously cursed lore. This wasn't just a space taxi. It was a gigantic flying lab. A super secret base analyzing space horrors, basically ground zero for human mind powers. Once the security dudes dipped, his hunter eyes instantly locked onto his next snack. Even with the insanely high-tech guards, he was honestly just hyped. Eating the DNA on this ride would completely map out his max-level build. Finding a mutant soldier lab meant copying crazy tank armor and totally cracked melee skills. And a brain power lab? That basically guaranteed unlocking seriously overpowered mental hacks. Out of nowhere, a super weak squeak broke the quiet. Tracking that sad noise down, he found this trapped little pink alien thing. His scanner labeled it as a totally weird bug that literally just hoards extra air. Honestly, a totally trash perk for a top-tier space beast that skips breathing entirely. But letting it live might unlock a secret achievement later. Right then, loud stomping echoed. He instantly dipped into the exhaust vents like a ghost. This super creepy lady holding a kitty just walked into the room. Walking up to the pink bug, she completely told her henchman to start ripping its energy out without caring at all. Nasty poison pumped right into the little guy. It screamed in pure pain, literally looking over at his shadowy vent like it was begging for a rescue. But with his completely garbage stats right now, fighting a mini-boss was literally asking for an instant game over. He just had to sit there mad as heck while she walked off. Suddenly, her own spider sense went off, and she whipped her head right around. He barely ducked out of her sightline in time. Feeling this totally helpless made him sick. He promised himself he would completely end her run in a few days. Meanwhile, in another section of the ship, things were looking like a literal horror movie. Thousands of super thick wires hooked up to this giant glass cage. All those tubes were flashing straight into a neon toxic pool. Our leveled up boy, now going by Silver, made this creepy rumbling noise in his chest. completely enjoying the vibe of his fresh new buffs. He just straight up spit a massive blast of melting green acid right against the metal wall, taking in the whole cave drenched in his organic webs. A wicked grin hit him. The zone was officially his feelers buzzed, breaking down every single speck in the air. Shutting his eyes, he fully synced up. The whole spaceship felt like a massive piece of his own brain now. With this insane God mode awareness, nobody's heartbeat was slipping past him. Peak tactics and total map dominance. So, where were these hunters hiding out? Figuring out their exact communication targets, his slimy web practically gave him an all-access pass to cruise safely through the camera blind spots. Day 4, since waking up, the upgrade hub was running at 100%. After days of farming weak mobs to memorize the guard patterns from the dark, Silver chilled in the metal ducts, locking his killer gaze on the crew. He memorized her exact clock-out time flawlessly. Main target locked, the head scientist Kisaragi. Her physical builds were total garbage, but that insane brain power basically made her the ultimate endgame boss, posing a massive threat to his life. 2 days back during a crazy breakout, this absolute beast of a girl whipped up a radar in 2 flat hours and easily dragged the runaway back. Silver's brain went into overdrive. If they started checking the ducts for that escapee, his hiding spot was cooked. She needed to be taken out immediately. Down below, Kisaragi literally stopped in her tracks. A super creepy vibe poured off her as those empty, plotting eyes whipped straight toward his air grate. A crazy heavy pressure dropped. She totally sensed his killer vibe. Her top-tier security instantly went on high alert, asking the boss, "What is the matter?" Her squad pushed, pulling back his killer vibe instantly. Silver dripped cold sweat. "Forget it. Let us keep going," Kisaragi ordered them. He only let out a breath once their walking completely faded out. Her freaky gut instincts were way past normal human levels. Like, was she some busted psychic? Reading minds, tracking emotions, and twisting thoughts? Those were the insanely scary moves of a holy tier superhuman. We are talking actual superhero level stuff here. Still, hardly anyone in the world is born as a legit psychic. Taking a bite of his candy, he ran the numbers in his head. Big brain psychic or not, her security team was basically glued to her all day, literally 24/7 lockdown. How was he supposed to wreck this girl? Out of nowhere, the neon interface screen popped up. Taste test gave major burnt pancake vibes. Stats showed an unknown, super deadly cosmic entity. Current phase was baby level. Main goal was staying alive. Perks included crazy sixth sense stuff and a weirdly creepy armor shell. Reading over the glowing digital sheet, he smiled. Stun poison was literally the best tool for his squishy beginner body. Just one tiny speck of it could instantly floor a massive adult. The biggest issue was it only lasted 5 minutes. Plus, to actually sting someone, he needed them totally isolated. Pretty much a 0% chance, with that whole squad of geared up guards. Gulping down the final piece of his snack, he got moving. Camping out wasn't getting him anywhere. Time to hit the practice range. Silver ghosted through the dark, straight for the lab area. He still had a mostly eaten candy bar clenched in his grip. Right in front of him towered this giant glass holding cell. Trapped inside, experiment number 26 was locked down tight. A super frail voice pleaded for help. Silver walked right up, holding out the sweet treat. "Looking way fresher than yesterday. Grabbed you extra snacks to eat," came the quiet whisper. He squished the snack and chucked the bits straight into the drop chute. The bright pink gooey center soaked it all up. "So yummy," vibrated through the pain. Silver zoned out, crunching the lure. Back in the base game, basic blob monsters literally had 0 special perks. Was he looking at some super rare boss form or just a random glitchy evolution? Then it clicked instantly. Hold on, that top-tier mind reader owned a literal kitty. He needed to map this out. Magic users are super mentally tied to their pets. If that furball kicks the bucket, her brain shields would completely break down. Even better, while the boss was heavily guarded, that chunky animal just chilled solo in its room unless called out. The game plan was locked. That pet was going to be the perfect lure. Cut to a super exclusive private room, where a furry tail flicked. The kitty casually stretched its legs out and dropped a huge yawn. Hiding way back in the air conditioning pipes, Silver scoped out his target, going by the name Caesar. Huh? Talk about a pampered prince. The totally oblivious pet tumbled around on a premium carpet, completely blind to the beast hanging above. Silver sized the animal up. Super chunky and spoiled rotten, though it honestly barely ate that much protein every day. The head researcher was not your average civilian. Rushing her straight on would be an instant game over with all those soldiers watching. This duct maze was an awesome route, except his super senses just picked up an invisible, lethal web of alarm beams. Just brushing against one of those digital tripwires would throw the whole base into max security mode. Super annoyed, he aggressively whipped his sharp tail, hating how trapped he felt. Right beneath him, Caesar's ears pinged like a satellite, catching that super quiet metal clank. Shiny yellow pupils blew up wide, locking dead onto where Silver was creeping. Total feral mode activated. The thing bolted for the air duct, screeching and clawing like mad. Silver low-key freaked out, swearing at his totally dumb slip-up. Razor-sharp claws shredded the steel mesh, tripping the automated alarms before a pair of strapped guards busted through the doors. Frederick and Lion swept the area with their weapons out, fully expecting some crazy assassin to jump them. But no, it was literally just the pet going absolute psycho on the wall. Lion rubbed his neck, sighing about the stupid feline, while his partner rolled his eyes. Not this nonsense again. Let the trash gremlin tire itself out. Meanwhile, chilling in the vents, Silver had all 8 limbs locked up in pure panic. Letting out a shaky breath, he brushed off the nervous sweat. That was such a noob move, almost blowing his cover just because of a swishing tail. Then, a totally wicked idea suddenly clicked in his head. His gaze zoomed in. Wait a second, that spoiled VIP furball was dying for some entertainment, and security literally didn't care about the racket at all. A totally psycho smirk crept across his ugly mug, flashing a mouthful of nasty, flesh-tearing fangs. The ultimate bait and switch was ready to go. Back on the floor, Caesar was already doing yoga stretches on that ridiculously expensive velvet bed. Those shiny little eyes darted around until they snapped right back to the grate, picking up on a totally fresh vibe. Sneaking up to the cover, Silver expertly dropped the bait right behind the steel bars. One fat, squishy, super dead roach. The cat's gaze sparked with hardcore hunter energy. A fresh toy to wreck. It gave the iron grid a soft little tap. Smash. The vent cover totally caved in. Rocking those big puppy dog eyes, the clueless animal walked straight into its own funeral. Flexing that weird cat agility, Caesar hopped up and shimmied right into the pitch-black ductwork. Out in the hall, Lion caught the metallic clatter. Bro, what was that? Frederick scoffed, blaming the annoying pet, and saying they would look into it eventually. Lion wasn't so sure. Dude, imagine if that high-class furball runs off? We are literally standing at the only exit, his partner fired back. Inside the shadows, the clueless kitty crawled way too deep into the tubes, eventually catching a weird little glow up ahead. Dropping a tiny meow, it trotted toward the spooky shine, totally fixated on its new target. Vibrating with hype, it eyed the wiggling bug. But then, popping out of the dark like an absolute jump scare, Silver attacked with his mouth gaping wide. His deadly spiked tail lashed straight for the cat. Totally blind to its own murder, the cute pet swiped at the bug. Bam! The nasty spike crunched into Caesar's back, dumping ultra-lethal, sludgy poison straight into its veins. The commanding officer practically shattered his molars, clenching his jaw. If she lacked that elite uptown status, she would be rotting in a tiny cell by now. Kisaragi shot him daggers, looking absolutely unhinged. So, where is the security team? She barked. He let out a heavy breath, explaining they were already in custody. We will start their punishment hearings as soon as we land. Her psycho tone cut him off completely. Kill them immediately. Samuel Yu locked up, literally shaking. Did he hear that right? Kisaragi was acting completely delusional, grinding her teeth like a maniac. You run this ship and handle the penalties, yeah? Flex that muscle right this second. He frantically tried to talk her off the ledge. Doing something so extreme over pure nonsense would literally cause his troops to riot. Her expression twisted into pure evil, staring holes into him with totally red eyes. Pure nonsense? The crew lurking in the back were basically sweating bullets at this point, while their boss's voice kept shaking. Look, I am just saying we should wait until the sweep is done. We can talk penalties after. No offense intended. The soldiers eavesdropping nearby were secretly raging as she deflected the blame. Skipper, you seriously have amnesia. This whole mess went down because your guys totally bombed their only job. Samuel Yu avoided eye contact, stuttering hard. Message totally received. Boss, I am using this screw-up to crack the whip on my squad moving forward. Kisaragi finally dialed back her psycho energy. Even with that crazy glint still in her eye, she backed off the whole murder vibe. Spinning around, she barked out an order. Got it. I am coming back in exactly 2 hours. She stopped halfway out, tossing a nasty glare over her shoulder. If you do not have good news by then, you might as well quit your job. Dropping that toxic warning, she stomped out the door, leaving him melting into his desk chair, looking like a ghost. Samuel punched his console hard. Absolute trash. Where the heck did that dumb furball even wander off to? Spying through the ceiling, Silver let out an edgy little laugh. Where is it? Literally turning into nutrients in my gut. Bro, tipping his head back, he scoped out the neon pop-up screen floating there. Wait, what the heck even is this wild beast perk anyway? Regardless, the perk combining system was a total god-tier feature for mixing up matching abilities. It smashes them together into one incredibly busted mega skill. After grinding this game forever, I basically know all the crafting combos by heart, which is exactly why I totally tripped out when that alert flashed right as I was munching on the pet. Heads up, you just jacked the feral instinct perk off your prey. Wanna slap it on? He gaped at the glowing prompt, totally speechless. I was shook. Never in my life had I spotted this secret perk. Despite my pro status, this was totally wild. Another ping dropped. Feral instinct locked in. This fresh perk is ready to mash up with your current super senses. Boom, the mashup worked, upgrading into the mythical apex predator instinct. Your radar is now insanely cracked for spotting danger. Pro tip: legends always see it coming. Silver whispered to himself. I instantly fired it up to see if my spidey senses were tingling. My radar was definitely massive now, but the whole foresight thing was totally ghosting me. Guess it is just a passive background buff. He melted into the darkness. I'll figure out how this broken skill actually ticks later on. Time to spy on Miss High and Mighty. She's probably raging hard. Across the base, Kisaragi was literally wrecking her workstation. She was still absolutely seething about misplacing her stupid furball. Jaw clenched tight. This cooldown is dragging forever. Up in the vents, Silver kept his eyes glued on the drama. Called it. These fake snobs totally lose their grip when their precious little mascots vanish. A savage smirk crept onto his lips. Goal number 2 is already in the bag. Planting major beef between Kisaragi and her so-called loyal squad. This minor hiccup is going to wreck their weak teamwork. It kicked off with the security dudes low-key hating that animal. They had to sit there while prime cuts of meat passed them by, stuff they weren't even allowed to touch, getting tossed to a stupid pet 3 times daily. Their saltiness was 100% bound to happen. The real issue is the massive status gap, with her sitting pretty at the top. To the grunts, her rich girl vibe screams pure unfairness. Starting a legit riot would literally get them deleted. So they obviously aimed all that bottled up rage at the pet, treating it like a stress toy. Now, what goes down when that toy just vanishes? They are stuck wasting hours hunting for the exact thing they completely loathe. Are those security goons going to lay down their lives for her ever again? Absolutely not. Plus, she thinks her crew is totally useless now. In her crazy brain, the squad being trash is exactly why her baby went missing. Rubbing his belly, he gave off some seriously dark vibes. Appreciate the snack. Furball. Time to snatch those DNA chunks straight from her grip. Downstairs, the girl was still totally raging. She shrieked out pure profanity, looking like an absolute demon. Barging into the test wing, she rage-slapped the keyboards. Huge blasts of heavy electricity zapped through the holding pods. The locked-up test subjects twitched crazily from the brutal shock. Frying noises filled the room while she viciously wrecked them all. Out of nowhere, she stopped dead, locking onto fresh bait. Looking straight up deadly, she marched towards specimen 26. Staring down the shaking pink blob, she scoffed. Oh, yeah, forgot you were chilling here. She flashed a super creepy, perfect tooth grin and smashed the gold button. Toxic sludge aggressively flooded the pipes, filling specimen 26's pod. The tragic little blob screamed in total agony. Make it stop. Someone help. Following an agonizingly long wait, she finally let go. Her messed up power trip wrapped up. She spun around, glaring with pure, unfiltered revulsion. Without looking back, she ditched the lab, leaving her victim to shake uncontrollably in the glass box. His blood was literally boiling with crazy rage. He gritted his teeth tight enough to crack them after watching that sick show. Out of nowhere, a tiny voice buzzed right in his brain. Hey you? He peeked down. Specimen 26 gave a pathetic little wave from the pod. He just stared back, dead silent, saying absolutely nothing. He flipped around and shimmied further into the pitch-black ducts. He was so not dealing with more drama. Vanishing into the creepy dark, he made a quiet promise. We totally do not even need to talk. I am going to hand you the exact thing you are craving. Pure payback. In another spot, Kisaragi squeezed her hands until they lost all color. It has been 2 hours. Drop the updates. The commander totally freaked. We literally just began looking. Just chill and give us a second. She completely lost it. Death glaring Commander Samuel Yu. She barked. Are you seriously mouthing off to a highborn right now? Icy sweat dripped down Samuel's spine. I run this ship, so check your attitude. She mocked him with heavy cringe. Like that trash rank matters. I could strip your status right now. The boss stood firm against her massive meltdown. Rich kids get no special treatment. I literally have the power to lock you away. Her toxic giggling bounced around. Oh, you want to jail me? Wait, did you really just threaten me? Samuel clapped back. The boss handles anyone acting up. Are you entirely delusional right now? She screamed. Watching this drama unfold from the ceiling, Silver silently laughed. This entire show was getting so good. You could tell these guys had major beef forever. Knowing she was totally losing this fight, Kisaragi stomped away, incredibly triggered. Her expression was a total disaster. Two fully geared guys walked her toward the ladies' room. Out of nowhere, she stopped dead without looking back. I am hitting the bathroom. Wait out here, she demanded. Got it. One agreed. As the door slammed, the first guard looked at his bro. Yo, I gotta go too. Back in a sec. Hiding above, Silver hyped up. This was the ultimate chance. He quickly read the room. Usually, a bodyguard sticks to her like glue, but honestly, her toxic vibe was so exhausting all day that they just bailed. Since the second dude vanished, this snobby girl was totally solo. Zero cameras or alarms in there to stop his sneak attack. Checking out the easy target below, he hyped himself up for the absolute best ambush play. Peeking through the dusty air vent, his icy reptilian gaze zoomed right onto Kisaragi. Down on the floor, she grabbed the counter, glaring at the mirror. An epic idea popped into Silver's head. No way am I missing this awesome moment. Hanging upside down, Silver readied his spiked tail, charging up his toxic attack. Not making a single sound, the hunter slid closer. He was literally floating straight over her head, with freezing water splashing her face. Her massive temper tantrum started to chill out. Looking up, she let out a huge sigh at her reflection. Out of nowhere, the worst kind of bad vibes hit. Kisaragi's pupils dilated in pure panic. Her gut was screaming that it was absolutely game over right behind her. Going completely pale and silent, she spun around fast. Silver dropped like a literal rocket, closing the gap instantly. His fierce teeth and toxic stinger locked right onto her neckline. Watching her bad dream come true, she totally dodged sideways. She threw her hands up to defend, but his glitch speed was unreal. The dangerous spike zoomed right past her cheek, ruining her perfect hairstyle entirely. But Silver had dropped way too fast to hit the brakes. Whiffing the knockout hit, he slammed hard into the metal panel. Refusing to take an L, he quickly spun for round 2. This round, luck was entirely out of the chat. The sharp tip hit a bullseye, sending his sleeping potion right into her system. The craziest kind of panic locked her down. Kisaragi's expression went totally stiff. She lost total control of her limbs before taking one step. Her mouth frothed as her brain basically blue-screened. Crazy shakes took over her entire vibe while her voice box just straight up quit. Her legs gave out under all that intense stress. With zero fight left, the stuck-up girl dropped onto the freezing floor. Every single tick of the clock was pure misery as she helplessly watched the mess pool up on the tiles. Shaking wildly, she gazed up looking like a total ghost. He stood massive above her, jaws unhinged, showing crazy teeth, looking super hungry. Her eyes looked ready to pop. Her headspace, totally wrecked by silent fear. Looking at her completely defeated vibe, Silver laughed inside. Wonder what this mean girl thinks right now. Is she freaking out over this sci-fi freak show? Mad about taking an L? Or just waiting for the final boss? Honestly, who even cares? One less elite snob in the world. Catch you never. Not second-guessing it at all, he ended her run for good, wrapping his jaws around for the final strike. Pure life force rushed into his system, leveling up his entire beastly form. He could literally feel her DNA giving a software update. The very last unlock code for his ultimate power had finally clicked. A neon stat screen randomly popped up. Upgrade requirements completed. Ready to start the level up sequence? A super creepy smirk showed up on his face, totally ghosting the defeated target under his feet. Silver instantly clicked yes in his mind. A crazy wave of future flashes hit his brain like a major glitch. A wild vision just appeared, showing those gear-heavy security bros busting in and catching him in 4K. Tons of heavy blasters aimed right at him all at once. An absolute rain of ammo shredded his armor, handing him a brutal end. Red rained down until nothing recognizable was left. Silver blinked, reality rushing back. That sick smirk wiped right off his face, swapped out for pure, bone-rattling dread. Drenched in cold sweat, he whispered, "What on earth was that? Some kind of next-level sixth sense? If that vision was legit, company is coming. Do I bail? No time." Scaling the ceiling soundlessly, he rolled the dice. He was going to end this guy right on the spot. Clunky boots thumped closer outside. A clueless patroller strolled up to the threshold and nudged it wide. The guy locked up completely, horrified by the absolute mess. Kisaragi was missing his top half, sinking into a red puddle like a bad horror flick. What freak of nature pulled this off? he choked out, totally trembling. Moving like a total ghost, Silver slipped out of the shadows right behind his blind spot. Pure horror hit the guy hard when he sensed the creepy crawler latching onto his neck. With zero hesitation, Silver's stinger went straight through his target's head. Scarlet splattered all over the pristine tiles from that single, ultimate knockout blow. The geared-up dude was taken out in a flash, sliding limply onto the freezing floor. The washroom was basically a full-blown chop shop now. Stepping over the wrecked duo felt straight out of a twisted alien movie. Then, a sharp strategy hit Silver's brain. No telling when his buddy gets back from lunch. Gotta bounce. They could be running drone sweeps by now. Slipping through the ducts for a sneaky getaway, he ghosted them. Seconds later, he was safely tucked inside the hideout. His feelers buzzed, sweeping the zone for trouble, making sure nobody was tagging along. His creepy gaze glued to the neon interface screen. Time to level up, he hissed. The digital panel blinked. Upgrade engaged. His claws shook like crazy while weird chrome liquid started leaking from his shell. Super gooey sludge swallowed him up whole. Total freakout mode kicked in. What was going on? He was literally liquefying like hot wax. That weird liquid flooded in, blacking out his sight. It wrapped up his changing body completely, just like a bug building a chrysalis. The place went totally quiet, except for the low buzz of icy plumbing. Trapped in that pod, he could not twitch a muscle, but his mind stayed crazy alert. Is this how popping into the world feels? He wondered blindly. It was scary but so hyped, shifting into a totally overpowered beast. His melting body fizzed wildly while a crazy genetic overhaul took over. The acid-like juice was literally rebuilding him into an ultimate space boss. I totally have to see this glow up, but his eyelids were super glued shut. Once that pod locked, he lost the wheel to his own ride completely. My job is done. Time for the software to take over. Following a painfully long wait, a tiny streak of brightness cracked the pitch black. The glow lit up the pod, looking exactly like some heavy tank hull. Out of nowhere, the tough organic crust started splintering, flaking away into powder. Snap, pop, a crazy loud crunch bounced around the room. The thick casing ripped apart, letting a wicked violet beast smash right through. Super pointy claws sliced the empty air, while Silver pulled his upgraded frame free. His outer shell and weapons got a massive buff. He basically respawned as walking titanium. Those neon peepers and pitch-black plating just shouted stealth boss. He lifted his altered arms, totally vibing with claws that got 4 times deadlier. He flashed a super creepy smile, full of shiny, wire-thin steel teeth. Surviving that brutal upgrade, he finally leveled up into a completely ice-cold combat unit. Tossing his head back, he let out an insanely loud howl. Cut to the super tense control center. Captain Samuel Yu's gaze went ice-cold, grilling his squad. Doc, did you pin down exactly what took him out? Chilling at the briefing desk, Russell double-checked the nasty body scan stats. Sure did, boss. Early tests show the science chief got wrecked by a crazy hit to the neck. Those cuts are a dead ringer for hyper-fast microblades. Still, we have to run some intense biochecks to nail down the exact tool. Next to him, Victor and Warren tuned in, totally shook by what that meant. More tests? The commander barked. Like a deep dive on the remains, Arnold carefully cut through the awkward quiet. Cap, what is the play now? The whole squad stared Samuel down, clenching his jaw. Icy perspiration drenched his ghostly skin. He was already onto their deadly reality. The captain totally collapsed in his chair. Massaging his throbbing temples, he groaned, I'm completely clueless. Guys, he shot a lethal glare at Victor. Security boss, where are we with catching this guy? Victor scrambled up instantly. We scanned the whole vessel, but found absolutely nothing. Our main suspect, that gate sentry, is getting intensely grilled right now. Samuel kept pushing. Honestly though, do you really think he's the killer? Gulping and dripping with sweat, Victor replied, stats say no way, boss. The captain just zoned out in this heavy quiet. Tell me the instant he spills, he ordered. You could literally see the burnout on his wrinkled, intensely scowling face. Gazing blankly at nothing, Samuel lowered his tone to a super creepy hush. Plus, everybody here remembers the recent drama in Sector 4's lab, right? Total panic instantly ripped through the whole squad. Samuel kept going, sounding dark. A genius kid got his mind literally scooped out wide awake just for talking back. Now he's just floating goo in a jar. The captain's eyes shifted into full-on murder mode. If acting up gets you that torture, imagine the nightmare waiting for the boss's killer. Unless you want to be zapped in a jar forever, start brainstorming a perfect fake story immediately. The command center went dead quiet. Pure fear was plastered all over every single manager's expression. People were legitimately freaking out. Out of nowhere, Douglas lifted a shaky arm, Could we just blame a massive science accident? Russell folded his arms, sneering. Think, bro. The onboarding lead literally has tons of scientists hanging out in that zone. A trash excuse like that flops. Douglas rolled his eyes hard. That zero IQ mindset is exactly why you're stuck as a mid-tier loser forever. Russell aggressively punched the desk. Bro, what did you even just say? Suddenly, Warren looked like he had a crazy brainwave and totally interrupted. Wait a sec. What if we just log the big boss's demise as some extreme tummy bug? The squad went ballistic before he even finished. That's an instant death sentence. Hey tech guy, if you want to end it, leave us out. The elite gathering immediately turned into a savage screaming match full of hardcore swearing. Out of nowhere, someone literally punched through the desk while screaming, "Shut it." It was Arnold, standing super straight. He looked completely boss. Pointless arguing is just gonna get us wrecked. He snapped. His intense stare had everyone totally paralyzed. Arnold then locked his sneaky eyes right on the captain. Boss? We're basically flying right by planet C08. Samuel looked confused. Why does that matter? Arnold grinned. Planet C08 is totally controlled by the Astro Hounds. The captain squinted, finally catching his drift. You want to blame those crazy mercs? Bingo. Arnold agreed without hesitation. We just say their insane surprise attack totally distracted us from the killing. Samuel rubbed his jaw. The Astro Hounds, right? Those absolutely brutal cosmic looters. They literally hate Mega Corp. Plus, they're super elite rebel soldiers. So saying they broke in sounds totally legit. The captain's brain went into overdrive. Staging a brutal invasion would be the ultimate cover-up for taking out the boss. Samuel stared intensely at Arnold. This plan is honestly kinda genius, but our vessel's guns can't really fake an Astro Hound attack. Arnold smiled wickedly. I've got some shady friends. I'll snag the heavy weapons myself. Rubbing his aching head, the captain felt a massive headache brewing. How much cash? Arnold kept a straight face. 100 million credits, at least. Total gold digger. The captain mentally raged. Arnold just smoothly defended the cost. Even the Astro Hounds fear the Kisaragi and crew. Putting their necks out totally explains the insane fee. Samuel just sighed, feeling utterly crushed. Whatever, you're approved, but this better go perfectly. Arnold gave a shady bow. Thanks a million, boss. The hazard control lead is gonna run point on this whole thing. We're done. Out of nowhere, Russell raised his hand, stopping everything. Boss, what about the dead director? Put him on ice right now. We'll literally toss him to the Astro Hounds later. Keep everything completely locked down. Back in his cave, Silver felt super epic checking out his newly unlocked, insane abilities. He smiled to himself. Crazy, this is just the bug phase. The raw energy rushing through him felt wild. Leveling up gave insane buffs. Gotta totally change how I stalk prey now. No more playing hide and seek. I'm going on the offensive. Pulling up his menu screen, he mumbled, staying alive part is over. Let's level up. Okay, what's my next major goal? The blue panels lit up. Species unknown cosmic morpher. Condition blob bug phase. Upgrade 1 passed. Hunter instincts locked in. Checking his killer loadout. Hard bug armor. Infinite stamina. Stun poison. Plus that mystery acid blood. Looking at the stats. Being rank 1 basically meant I'm literally just a baby bug. This alien race featured 6 separate upgrade trees for max ascension. Hitting that final tier literally guaranteed total universe survival. Literally the true endgame. If an amorph maxed out, it would totally drop the crazy lore about their origins. Like, where did we even spawn? But the win rate was actual trash. He just smirked at the bright screen. Getting to the end is gonna be pure pain. In game, barely 20 gamers actually beat it. Hold up, he remembered something. While I'm a newbie bug, I can totally peek at my class progress. With my aggressive stats, I'm definitely a physical build. A system pop-up hit. 0 basic classes available. Wanna see the rare ones? He smashed that floating accept button. Let's check the vibes here. Just like he guessed, 2 totally secret skill trees popped up right in front of him. Physical boost at 6 out of 10. Brain power at 1.5 out of 3. Totally tracks, he mumbled. My hard shell and toxic blood definitely buffed my brawn. These rolls basically set a monster's entire fighting vibe. Hitting those crazy requirements meant scoring insanely huge stat buffs. Silver just squinted his brightly glowing eyes. But where did that extra 0.5 come from? 1 point was hunter instincts. He literally lacked other brain perks. He remembered his past snacks. Massive spiders, freaky roaches, that random cat. I totally ate all of them. No leftovers. Silver did the math. Then it literally clicked, and his red eyes popped wide open. Kisaragi. Hers was the only body I didn't completely finish. That rich kid DNA definitely packed secret psychic stats. Gotta eat her brain. He instantly ditched his dark hideout. Sliding up to the air vent, his claws quietly melted the steel cover away. Crawling through, Silver realized it was super cramped. My leveled up form is honestly way too huge for this now. Out of nowhere, a nasty breeze hit his face. Chasing that super gross smell, he cracked a totally evil smile, that amazing dead smell. Looking down into the dark, super corrosive spit started dropping from his scary teeth. Gotcha, he whispered, starving like a demon. The freezing, super clean morgue was wide open right under his freaky claws. Right underneath, some clueless worker was chilling at his computer, blasting loud tunes through his headset. He literally had no idea a monster was hanging over Kisaragi's iced body. The dude was totally alone in that giant freezer. Boom! A seriously gross rotting smell completely ruined the clean air. Choking, he yanked off his headphones to check it. Bro, what is that nasty stink? He literally froze up, absolutely terrified. Neon green acid kept eating through the roof, dropping into bubbling, toxic pools. What's even happening right now? He shook. Up top, Silver stuck to the dark like a literal sleep paralysis demon. Bright red eyes locked onto the shaking guy. Totally missing the death trap above, the dude completely freaked out. A chemical spill? I gotta dial security right now. Before the dude could even move a single inch, a super sharp tail whipped down from the pitch black. It wrecked his head instantly, totally spraying the whole room red. His dead arms flopped straight onto the messy floor. Not even caring about the new body, Silver moved to the freezer. Super sharp claws easily snagged the clean white cover. One aggressive pull, and the tarp flew back. Kisaragi's headless, iced-over body was literally right there. Gotta love rich kid perks, Silver joked in his head. Kept perfectly fresh just for my meal. Grabbing her head, things got deep. Nobody actually wanted to mess with her body. He stopped. Like, am I seriously chopping up humans without feeling bad? He brought the ghostly, dead face right up to his seriously creepy eyes. Those empty eyes just stared right back. Leveling up literally means you gotta adapt, he told himself flatly. Did this beast form totally mess up my human soul? Or was I always this savage hunter deep down? But honestly, deep thoughts don't even matter when you're this starving. Silver popped his scary jaws wide open, his gross tongue grabbing Kisaragi's skull before absolutely smashing it in one crazy bite. Gore and red literally splattered the clean room. Eat it all. Staying alive means you just gotta keep killing. That's the hardcore truth of being an amorph. Bodies are basically just temporary meat. Dead stuff is just my ultimate energy boost. Eating the weak is literally how nature works. Then, out of nowhere, a crazy loud crunch popped in his mouth. His killer teeth hit solid steel, so he quickly spit the nasty chunk out. Some sci-fi gadget hit the ground. Did she have this in her chest? The weird cyborg part was glowing with crazy robot energy. A pacemaker for a fragile rich girl. Gripping it hard, he literally smashed it straight to powder. Right away, a super bright blue game menu completely popped up. Jackpot, he whispered. She actually had that brain power stat the whole time. A system notification literally rang in his brain. Boom, predator mode locked in. Just snapped up that brain tissue DNA and swiped those sweet human mind stats. Want a slot in that new headpiece? Silver snapped his freaky bug jaws together. Out of every epic loot possibility, I get this garbage. My species literally breathes psychic vibes, making this mod totally useless. Still, he hit accept in his head. Whatever, honestly. Buffs are buffs, and I gotta cap these numbers to force my next glow up anyway. Out of nowhere, a crazy painful morph hit him. A whole mess of freaky, cursed vines busted right out the back of his spine. He brushed a hand over the squirming cables. Guess this is what a gooey brain boost looks like. Sick. Honestly, it might spark some secret combo down the line. Mixing this with my killer reflexes could drop a totally broken ability. He yanked the lifeless patrol dude up like it was nothing. Snacks are done. Bring on the real meal. Gallons of fresh red splashed across the icy tiles. Rent-a-cops honestly have the best, most satisfying chew to them. All that packed-in protein just delivers the sickest, bone-snapping crispiness ever. Silver melted back into the pitch-black shadows to finish his gory snack. Inside this messed-up lab, those cocky stalkers were officially on the menu. Insane, explosive energy pumped through every single freaky inch of his cursed body. That epic tier 2 morph was creeping up fast. I'm gonna eat it all. I'll be the absolute final boss around here. His psycho promise rang out right as total shadows swallowed up the entire kill room. His jaw cables spiked out of nowhere, picking up some nasty vibes. Freaking out, he spun fast, his ultra radar perk going totally active. Shift change for the security guards, he whispered. These dudes are rocking practically zero defense gear on this cruiser. The incoming target was literally wearing the last dude's hand-me-downs. Glancing at the wrecked body, it hit him the medtech's shift was about to punch out. Whoever tagged in would instantly smash the panic button the second they saw this absolute gorefest. With modern tech, they'd guess an alien breached the ship in a heartbeat. And right now, his numbers were way too weak to solo a whole decked-out squad. He seriously had to buy some major time so he could grind out a level. Catching heavy dark fumes leaking off an acid tank, a genius play clicked in his brain. This dead room was packed with crazy unstable embalming juice. A ridiculously risky cheat code of an idea hit him, perfect for dodging this nightmare scenario. The goal? Throw the whole squad into total panic mode. At the exact same time, that iconic Mega Corp was running things from their hardcore Earth base. 5 insanely overpowered business syndicates built this giant empire from scratch, bossing the whole globe like literal deities. Right in that mix was the absolute nightmare squad, the Jujin family, straight out of the East Asian zone. They kicked off as some bottom-tier startup in Korea but mutated into a totally unbeatable juggernaut. Fast forward, and the Jin crew basically owned every single millimeter of the map. We're talking robot swarms and next-gen subways, all chilling under a fake, programmed sun. The Jin VIPs flexed hard here, bossing around millions of brain-dead non-player pawns. Tucked way down, in this neon-lit nightmare world, there was this crazy, peaceful, fake Zen garden mansion. A gardening tool kept smacking the mud on repeat. The guy swinging it looking all chill, that was the big bad himself, Akira Kisaragi's overpowered dad. A couple of super dripped-out top tiers stood right behind him, practically bowing out of sheer respect. Brushing off the grime, Akira coolly waved them in. Sorry on the wait. Come on up. Joe shot Void a stressed look before stepping up. What's the drama? Akira pressed. Joe gulped big time. It's about the boss's daughter. The head honcho looked genuinely shook for a second. The young miss? Joe dipped even lower. Lady Kisaragi. Akira flashed a seriously creepy grin. Oh, kid number 3. Yeah, what's her deal? Joe cut right to the chase and dropped the absolute bomb. Her vital signs beacon got totally trashed. Akira's face literally didn't move. No way. I never put her on a hardcore tier mission. Joe swiped open the data feeds. Last ping dropped off, right by zone C08. That's straight up cosmic hound turf. Rubbing his jaw with some crazy dark energy swirling, Akira's whole vibe flipped. Giving zero warning, he dropped a massive hand onto Joe's shoulder, leaving the guy totally clueless. Moving at literal warp speed, Akira slammed his metal gardening spade right into Joe's brain pan. The guy folded instantly, his health bar tanking to 0, while bright red instantly flooded the mud. Standing over the glitching, fading underling like a straight-up boss monster, Akira mercilessly shoved the spike deep into his ribs, spamming massive crit combos without pausing. Soaked in an absolutely cursed layer of gore, his psycho murder rage finally chilled out. Akira just chucked the busted gardening gear away and spun around. Scrub this garbage out of here, he barked. The leftover security dudes bowed instantly, vocal cords shaking hard. Right away, boss. Locking his hands behind him, Akira shot them a death stare. I don't need my equipment randomly talking to me. You guys remember the golden rule, yeah? A pawn is nothing but a pawn. Got it. We'll be hyper-vigilant, the guard muttered, dripping sweat. Akira jammed his hands in his pockets, mind racing. I dumped 10 billion credits into Kisaragi's build, literally the price of a massive warship, and her genetic awakening wasn't even finished. So how the heck did garbage-tier space pirates crack her shields? He wiped a blood smear from his face, absolutely furious that someone wrecked the Jujin clan's ultimate treasure. Akira glared at Void. Captain Samuel Yu runs Kisaragi's ship, right? Void gave a low bow. Yes, boss. Their turf is right next to the Titan zone. Those loot goblins are greedy, but their attack stats are pure trash. Their guild leader is a massive chicken who'd never risk pulling our aggro. Akira smirked. Who's your main suspect? Boss. The server logs practically scream TC Syndicate, Void explained. Akira's eyes went dark, and a seriously creepy smile crept across his face. Brilliant minds think alike. The TC Guild and our crew are always beefing over the Jupiter raid spots, but low-key, we team up because they're our biggest sugar daddies. Hiding his murderous vibe behind a twisted smile, Akira whispered. That total snake is trying to steal admin privileges right before the big council meeting. You catch that drift, right? Void stiffened. Spot on. Clan Master Chamberlain is sweating bullets trying to steal the executive director title, your rightful throne, boss. Akira laughed, resting his hands on his hips. Bingo, that cocky jerk is literally aiming right at me. He laughed, but a heartbeat later, his vibe flipped to pure, deadly rage. Now I finally have a green light for a preemptive strike. Ping the whole clan. Void bowed, hands clasped tight. You got it, boss. I've got a stealth assassin near Sector C08. Sending the hit orders now. Void nodded, hyping up for an absolute bloodbath. Akira's chill farmer act was totally gone. His super toxic true colors flared up as shadow energy swirled. Samuel Yu and every single NPC linked to that garbage ship dragged them all here. His eyes flashed ruby red with pure rage. Flexing a literal boss monster's aura, Akira yelled, "Anyone who messes with my loot gets deleted." Meanwhile, a super heavy, suffocating tension choked the starship. The captain froze at the door, face twitching in absolute horror as he clenched his jaw at the nightmare inside. What the heck? Captain Samuel Yu choked out, screaming at the top of his lungs. What nightmare is this? Inside, the terrified crew was staring at burned bodies scattered everywhere. Snapping his furious eyes to the security guards, he barked, "You guys reported smoke. Did you actually see a live fire during your rounds?" A guard swallowed hard. "Yeah, Captain. I tried to bypass the door lock to check it out, but only the medical team has permissions." Right then, the head doc and his squad were freaking out while analyzing the wrecked bodies. The guard stuttered, "I couldn't find where the fire started before seeing the corpses." Nearby, Chief Medic Russ was examining the remains, spotting a stat-boosting ring that belonged to the guy working overtime. Suddenly, he went ghost white and started sweating buckets. A terrifying thought clicked. Russ snapped his head around, yelling, "Are all the logged bodies accounted for?" The clerk blinked. "Yeah. Why?" Russ's voice trembled like crazy. "No way. A system breach." The captain stepped up, demanding answers, but Russ just stared in sheer shock. "Captain, ping all the department heads right now." Russ gasped, total panic flooding his eyes. Something absolutely catastrophic just went down. Smacking the conference table, Samuel Yu yelled, "Are you crazy?" The head guard and chief researcher literally despawned. His face went totally purple. "Dead bodies don't just grow legs and walk off." "How the hell is that a thing, Doc? Are you 100% sure?" Russ looked completely pale, absolute terror stamped all over his face. The doctor pushed back. "I literally double-checked the logs. Exactly 2 bodies just vanished into thin air." "Wait, it gets worse. Based on the missing morgue chemicals, a random fire might have triggered, though the chances are incredibly low." Somebody crossed their arms and said, "Wait, so you're telling us this was intentional arson?" Warren asked, his voice shaking. "Who the heck would even do something that crazy?" Victor clasped his hands, theory crafting. "Could it be some random alien mob hiding on the ship?" Dustin snapped, roaring, "Are you brain dead? Stop yapping. That's complete garbage." Victor glared right back. "Chill out. Head of Equipment Management, I'm just throwing out ideas here. Why are you getting so incredibly defensive?" Russ quickly cut in. "Drop it. Our main disaster right now is the head researcher's missing body." The captain abruptly stood up, his face looking super grim. "We've got to face those space pirates in Sector C08. So, you guys need to secure that body, whatever it takes. Are we absolutely clear?" Victor raised his hand, protesting. "We need to catch the culprit first." A brutal wave of swearing totally shut him up right away. Totally crushed, Victor sank into his seat, too scared to say anything stupid. The captain was literally fuming. "This mess isn't on me. If you guys are terrified of the blowback, you need to work together perfectly." The room went completely dead. The tension was insane, pressing down on everybody like a massive rock on their lungs. Samuel finally broke the quiet, asking, "Yo, risk management boss, did you hit them up yet?" The guy shut his eyes and nodded. Right after this meeting, the captain was literally shaking from stress. Rubbing his pounding head, the boss barked out, "Keep your mouths entirely shut about this screw-up. Just say the corpse drop-off is on schedule." Somebody asked, "Are you totally sure?" "Yep," he shot back darkly. "Even if we grab the trespasser, not killing, it would trigger a massive headache. We just gotta snatch the corpse back before the planned meetup." Samuel creeped up right behind Victor, gripping his shoulder hard. "Security chief, you know exactly what the play is here. Bag the suspect no matter what." Victor flinched. "I'm literally doing everything I can." The boss snapped right back. "Well, your best sucks." Samuel glared with serious murder in his eyes, dropping his voice to a scary growl. "Grill the entire crew if you gotta, just pull that rat out of hiding. I'm giving you total green light on this." Victor gave a stiff nod. "Got it, boss. I'll track them down." The captain sighed. "It's all on you now." Up in the air ducts, Silver was chilling in the dark, watching the whole drama play out. A crazy evil grin flashed across his face. "This is going flawlessly. Starting a massive fire is the ultimate flex to hide who I am and confuse the heck out of them. Nobody can prove mixing those dead room liquids caused it. Like, would an alien freak actually be that smart? After whipping up a lethal poison from that stuff, I topped it. That absolute galaxy brain move melted the bodies completely, and my plot went off without a hitch. But then a tiny bit of panic kicked in. I totally didn't think they'd actually guess the alien thing. And out of everything, they called up that space trash. The boss has completely lost his marbles. Looks like the risk guy bailed early. I'll wreck him later. He's totally plotting with the space pirates. Silver plotted out his next step. Space pirates have crazy variety, which means I can snatch a massive amount of weird DNA from them. But my DNA farming on this science ship is gonna crash if a huge raid goes down. I gotta figure out how tough these pirates are and see if I can actually survive this mess. Suddenly, his killer eyes spotted someone below. He thought, shook. Wait, that dude down there is totally the gear boss. Weren't you hardcore denying I even existed just a minute ago? What's his deal in this mess? Why was he acting so super defensive? Down below, Dustin was sweating buckets, nervously looking around the spooky cargo hold. His shaky hands smashed into the keypad, popping open the massive security doors. The dude quietly slid into the secret space. Silver watched the whole thing, super confused why the gear boss was creeping like a burglar. He's allowed to just walk in, so why is he acting so insanely sketchy? What crazy dark secret is making him tweak out like this? The beast shifted his stare to a huge metal safe. Hold up, what's the deal with that one box? His tracks stopped dead right there. Swipe card and fingerprint locks. The security on that thing is absolutely nuts compared to the rest of the ship. Even the metal walls are so thick that my crazy alien senses can't see through them. Glaring at the iron box, Silver figured out this dude was 100% hiding something absolutely massive. Because of his little show, I am totally obsessed now. I was gonna go after the head doctor first, but whatever. This dude is totally my next target. Cut to a sketchy space dive bar, full of clinking cups and drunk yelling. I'm literally so trashed. Smoke, sitting next to him, nudged him. Chief, you gotta chill with the booze. Dustin slurred. Just one more round. The younger kid gave him massive side-eye. Why are you being such a sad sack today? Dustin just kept chugging drinks, totally consumed by the horrible vibe that his life was literally finished. His brain kept replaying his massive fail. How was I dumb enough to actually trust that shady underground dealer? I totally fell for his garbage story about digging that thing out of ancient alien wreckage. I grabbed that thing instantly, totally obsessed with scoring a huge bag. Vibes were immaculate until I sneaked those eggs aboard and one literally hatched out of nowhere. Definitely should have checked that heavy door twice. Dude was absolutely losing his mind, sweating actual buckets right then. The craziest part? I cannot tell a single soul. If the boss finds out, I am literally cooked on the spot. Downing another heavy drink, Dustin sang some sad, messy song. Booze is literally the worst villain. Smoke just stared at the wasted dude, sighed super loud, and completely dipped from the club. Hollow looked completely over it, straight up telling him, bro, we are officially shutting down. The big guy slumped on the bar, begging, just one more round and I am out. The bartender just gave up like, whatever. A bit later, Dustin stumbled out, totally wrecked. The wasted boss stumbled down the creepy empty hallway, literally screaming at nothing. Like, what did I even do? Why is my life an actual horror movie? Suddenly, he completely froze up. He looked like he just saw the literal Grim Reaper. Shaking like crazy, he yelled out, who is there? Literally zero response. Just super creepy, pitch black vibes stretching all the way down the hall. The quiet was high-key, terrifying. He gulped, totally stressing out as major panic kicked in. He started cursing up a storm, trying so hard to hide how incredibly spooked he actually was. Turning around, he kept walking while complaining about his trash luck. But then, the vibe totally froze. Massive, crazy shivers literally ripped right down his back. Totally frozen. He used whatever guts he had left to finally peek behind him. This massive shadow, with a huge tail zoomed by like a literal ghost. His eyes basically popped out. His mind completely broke as he cried out. What even is that crazy monster? Dustin just booked it, running as fast as he possibly could. He totally knew he was cooked. Crying his eyes out, he begged the door to open, then tripped hard, staring at his dropped phone. He tried to grab it when this super creepy voice literally whispered, enjoy your food. Huge stomps bumped behind him. His face twisted up in pure shock, and he completely froze over. The heavy stomping just kept getting super close. He was totally hopeless, trapped in pure nightmare fuel, while Ugly crying his eyes out. Two massive hits smashed the door, then it got crazy quiet before sliding open on its own. A crazy intense hunter vibe and a messy metallic smell hit the air. Silver stepped out, looking absolutely ready to strike. Dustin was vibrating with fear, totally stuck on the floor as he watched the beast roll up. Silver got all up in his personal space, opening his huge mouth and breathing out literal doom. Dustin could not even breathe or talk. Bone, apple tea. Silver just unhinged his jaw and completely swallowed his face. Drool was pouring everywhere from the beastly mouth, while messy red liquid totally sprayed all over. Silver started wrecking the garbage room. Stalking this dude was basically a complete joke. Tearing through all the storage, our alien bro was secretly judging him super hard. The guy literally wasted all his cash getting wrecked at clubs. Silver just secretly smirked about it. The boss owes me big time for deleting this total scrub. Then he got super annoyed and swore, "Bro, have you ever heard of cleaning? This room is high-key disgusting." He groaned, trying to figure out where the access pass was, then suddenly let out a gasp. He spotted a swimsuit model poster. His alien body felt weirdly slow as he whispered, "Not bad, but being a monster means zero romantic vibes." He grabbed a journal, and the pass totally dropped out. He snatched it up with a detached palm, feeling totally hyped. Finally scored the access pass. Totally wiped this place clean. Checking out the messy leftovers on the floor, he whispered to himself, "Got to hide the evidence." Taking a bite, he thought, "This boss tastes like absolute trash." The booze totally kills the vibe of the meal. Finishing his snack, he walked over to the locked safe. He scanned the pass to turn it on, then just smacked the detached hand right on the fingerprint reader. The massive vault door crept open, dumping freezing fog from a totally hidden lab. He spotted the ultimate jackpot. Peering through the icy glass containment tanks, his mind was totally blown. Cryopods? Was that dead dude seriously running a shady smuggling op? His jaw dropped. Total jackpot. Stacked perfectly in the freezers were these super advanced incubator setups. No freaking way. Amorph eggs. Spotting one already busted open, he carefully grabbed the shattered shell. Hold up. Did I hatch from this exact one? That shady squad leader was totally trying to sneak me out. In the game lore, amorphs always spawned in random scrap piles, literally never on a spaceship. Crazy flashbacks hit him as he pieced it all together. No clue what messed up the transport, but the first creature straight up busted out of this pod after hatching. It starved super fast, letting my mind completely take over its body. Makes total sense why those roaches tasted fire earlier. Just straight survival mode. Dropping down, he clapped his hands and gave the empty shell a totally sarcastic bow. Honestly, I feel kind of torn about this. Taking a quiet sec, he finally stood back up. Screw being nice. Time for that apex predator energy. He yanked 2 eggs straight out of the freezer. Silver smashed them into his mouth, crunching hard while weird alien juice splattered all over his face. Gulping down that crazy superfood, he realized the first amorph baby always totally eats its siblings. Bummer. 0 system pop-ups for that snack. Silver just licked his fangs with a cocky grin. All good. There's a massive feast left. His killer eyes tracked the other cryopods packing the room, looking like a completely starved beast finding food. A sick hunger twisted his expression. Soon, the room was dripping red. Every single unhatched monster got totally wrecked. Silver hyped himself up. Flawless. He checked the glowing blue system screen. Alien type aggressive space amorph unknown build. Current phase larva. Living status 1 creature evolved successfully. Sick perks unlocked killer instincts, Wayne mutation, and a literal chitin armor shell. Max health unlocked. Hooked up with poison glands, reinforced armor, triggered acid blood, and totally maxed out muscle nerves. Unidentified copy ability. Current upgrades ready physical buff at 8 out of 10 and mind buff at 2 out of 3. Super hyped, he whispered. Only 2 more perks, and my physical build is completely maxed out. Fully loaded, Silver strutted out of that ice locker like a boss, feeling slightly bummed though. For real, eating Kisaragi totally sucked. Expected insane psychic abilities but just got trash brain organs. Yet this supply guy seriously blessed me. You normally don't get these drops until way later in the playthrough. Rocking the best crew wipe build, I'm ready to cause absolute chaos. That meetup with those space dogs is coming up fast. Gotta hit my power ceiling right now, since their danger level is a total mystery. Hang tight, you juicy genetics. Out here in deep space, literally nobody is catching your screams. This science ship's weak cries are going straight into the dark void forever. Cut to the Mega Corp ship landing zone. A giant cruiser slammed onto the pad. Fisher stood with hands on hips, yelling at Scott, who was fixing the hull. "Yo, Scott, time to eat. Let's bounce," he barked. Not even looking up, Scott mumbled, "Let me finish this first." Fisher pushed, "How much longer, bro?" Letting out a huge sigh, Scott groaned, enough to definitely claim overtime. Catching sight of the insane wire tangle, Fisher groaned and swore quietly. Way later in the giant cafeteria, Scott finally broke the silence. I honestly still don't get it, Fisher said. Get what? Scott scowled. Why are we suddenly getting orders to check the fighter jets? Getting pissed? Fisher snapped. Seriously, Scott? You jerk. You seriously bringing up work while eating? Unbothered. Scott fired back. Am I wrong? Fisher, rumors say we're prepping to fight those metal freaks. We're literal dead meat if we cross those things. Annoyed by him cutting in, Scott kept talking. Getting actually spooked, he stuttered out. Is that for real? Scott smirked. Told you so, man. Fisher chilled out and casually asked. Okay, say people really are going missing. Why are the bosses keeping it completely quiet? Cameron clapped back fast. Keeping it secret stops everyone from totally freaking out. Scott nodded super confidently. It's 100% because of that metal freak. Fisher lost it and jumped up. Screw the metal, whatever. Why does their beef mean we have to fix the jets? Cameron just shrugged. I literally have no clue. Just heard some crazy rumors about everyone vanishing. Scott tilted his head like a noob. Are they just messing with us to enforce rules? Fisher shot the pair a dirty look. Snatching up his food tray, he mumbled, absolute clowns. The both of them. Scott just rubbed his head, completely lost. Later on down in the bay, a parked rig cast a sketchy, glitching glow. A grease monkey was busy tinkering under the hull. Someone yelled, Yo Scott, I am heading out for a midnight binge. Need anything? Scott answered, Nah, just snag me some of that fake water. The silhouette gave a thumbs up and bailed. Scott swore under his breath. Am I ever going to wrap this up? Pushing past the exhaustion, he dove right back into fixing the giant cruiser. Out of nowhere, someone hollered, Hey Scott, get over here a second. Scott assumed it was Cameron. I am slammed right now, but the guy kept pushing, swearing it would be quick. Scott clenched his jaw, totally irritated. He was fuming. I swear, if this is some dumb prank, I am decking him. He slid out, completely caught off guard. He was totally lost, since the whole place was practically a ghost town. Scott shouted, Bro, did you seriously call me just to hide? A super quiet voice leaked out of the sketchy dark room next door. Get in here. Quick. Scott paused, yelling back. Is the launch zone closed for repairs? Chasing that creepy whisper, he crept inside. The unseen guy kept giving him directions. Right here. Scott squinted into the heavy, pitch-black space, completely confused. Dude, why is it so dark in here? What are you actually up to? The dude in the shadows answered. Looking for my stuff. Then he rushed Scott again. Get over here and lend a hand. He sighed heavily. Like I even care about trailing you, Scott complained. Such a major headache. Out of nowhere, this totally gnarly smell hit him. He slapped a hand over his face. Bro, what is that disgusting reek? Smells like pennies, but 10 times grosser, he yelled out. Where the heck are you hiding? That super weird voice bounced around the room. Right here, come closer. All of a sudden, his shoe caught a random bolt. Scott totally wiped out, slamming onto the freezing metal ground and groaning in pain. He dragged himself up, massaging a massive lump on his head. His pupils blew wide open as this super messed up thought clicked. Hold up, this is incredibly sketchy. Even if he had a torch, it is literally pitch black. Why would Cameron even be chilling in the dark like this? That weird chat he had with Cameron earlier just snapped right back into his brain. Word is, the dude who vanished was head of supplies. So the freight boss just snatched his job. Folks have been dropping off the radar all week, all thanks to that crazy scrap. Pure dread totally hijacked Scott as he stuttered out a question. Cameron was lurking right behind his back. Just this twisted, creepy silhouette. A raspy, dead-sounding whisper drifted through the shadows. Scott tried calling out his buddy's name, but a bony, clawed hand swiped faster than a bullet, completely crushing his head. Silver finally stepped into view. He murmured, flawless. That freakish, stone-cold grip had his prey's neck completely locked down. The monster's eyes flared up intensely. Creepy, dark fog kept leaking right out of his teeth. Out in the hall, brutal shrieks and the nasty sound of snapping ribs completely filled the dead silence. Silver's twisted brain was running hot. This copycat trick is seriously overpowered. Cut to the launch deck, where Fisher was scoping things out. Yo Scott, got your weird green drink. Spotting the gear just dumped all over the floor, he was super confused about where the tech guy bounced to. He peeked under the giant cruiser. Fisher gave a hard scowl. That dude literally never dips out in the middle of a shift. Out of nowhere, Scott's voice bounced off the walls. I am chilling out back in the fix-it bay. Fisher chased the weird echo, asking, Bro, why did you even head back there? Scott's voice answered, trying to track something down. Fisher posted up by the voice hiding in the blackness shot back. Just got to sort some junk out. Come give me a hand. Hearing that, Fisher walked in to help. He clicked on his beam, extremely annoyed. Seriously, man, what is your deal right now? Right then, Fisher noticed a lit torch just spinning on the frozen metal. He whispered to himself, why did someone just drop this? Instantly, nasty drops of scalding hot gore started leaking from the roof, absolutely drenching his collar and spine. Fisher swiped at his own neck. Yo, what even is that? Looking down at his totally red-stained hand, he started freaking out. Nasty clumps of fresh gore just kept splattering everywhere. Fisher was shaking uncontrollably. Bro, what is happening? He could not even finish before the beam caught a super pale face. Hollow, completely red eyes were glaring right through him. Silver's gnarly, dead-sounding voice crept through the pitch black. I am right up here, man. Stuck to the roof like a bug, he dangled Scott's ripped-off head right in Fisher's personal space. Then, it was just lights out. A massive puddle of gore completely flooded the tiles. Tearing into his nasty snack, Silver flexed internally. Am I seriously a natural at baiting people? This whole shape-shifting hack is literally broken. Out of all the weird junk those supply bosses tried to sneak in, there were baby forms of this thing called a bloodworm. It is basically this massive sand monster that only lives on dead worlds. It's freaky they can straight up copy any voice they hear flawlessly. That's how they bag targets in insane conditions, without breaking a sweat. It's like their whole vibe is just maxing out as top-tier hunters. Silver nods silently. Snacking on those red bug babies for their DNA totally worked, but it came with a huge catch. The power I got is super nerfed compared to the real deal. I can only rip the vocal cords of whatever I literally just ate. Still, totally OP, though, he whispered with a sketchy grin. Guess I'll snack on a chef tomorrow. Cameron Wright was his name. Silver felt bad, saying he couldn't score snacks today. When she pressed for details and just got a flat, no, subject 26 shut down. He totally got why she was crushed. But seriously, that path was pure suicide now. Once the scout boss got ghosted, security maxed out the threat levels to crazy heights. The whole lab got slapped with a hardcore quarantine. Even the ceiling vents my old chill spot were suddenly packed with lethal traps. Thanks to this crackdown patrol, sneaking her grub hadn't happened in days. So, giving some basic hype was the best he could do. Sighing hard, Silver dipped out. Don't die, she murmured. Flexing his grip, he knew reaching that next pupa phase was the only way to genuinely rescue her. Except the specs for leveling up were straight up savage. To unlock it, he had to unalive and drain 10 guys from every single big crew out there. And they couldn't be dummies, either high IQs only. With this ship literally packing nothing but humans, hitting that milestone felt statistically hopeless. Yeah, cosmic outlaws were definitely creeping nearby, but he had zero info on their crew. Out of nowhere, Silver froze. His buffed hearing caught some wild noise, making him snap around. He hacked into a glitchy comms feed from way off. It was the Risk boss himself. Silver squinted, trying to figure out who this suit was sneakily chatting with. Arnold's creepy tone leaked through the fuzz, bragging that their underground gig was going perfectly to script. Then the guy's voice totally cracked, panicking over some random marching orders down to the basement level. Arnold scrambled to play it cool, sweating buckets while promising the shadow boss he wasn't arguing. He flexed that since the highborn Kisaragi fam got dusted, their ride would hit Sector C08 dead on time. He even dropped that Captain Samuel's every word had been caught on tape. Creeping in the dark, Silver was absolutely shook. Like, what the heck? Arnold kept yapping, swearing to his big boss that everything was locked down tight. He mentioned Commander J was busy hardcore babysitting the compound, a gig the director was stoked to manage. When the feed died, Silver practically snapped his jaw. He used to think the guy was just a dumb meathead, but nah, he was a straight-up toxic mastermind playing games. This jerk was low-key puppeteering the skipper, cooking up some seriously insane, lethal plot. Silver realized he needed to stay ghost and see if this drama was his lucky break or game over. Back in the main control room, Captain Samuel Yu was straight-up raging. He screamed at his crew for dropping the ball on VIP guard duty, making a panicking Victor stutter out lame excuses. The boss jabbed a finger in Victor's grill, yelling about how many times he had to hear my bad. Barely 48 hours had passed since that mystery ghost attacked, and they were still totally clueless. Sounding super stressed, Victor promised on his life that his top-tier guards and crazy expensive cams hadn't caught a single blip. Swearing loudly, the captain practically laser-eyed the ship's admin, demanding the real death toll. Douglas gulped, big time, before dropping the brutal facts. 8 crewmates were just gone. Samuel's energy went toxic with pure rage. 7 more dudes got zeroed out right after the science chief's messy end. He basically threw a fit, asking how the psycho was still out touching grass. Tripping on paranoia, the skipper straight up accused his manager of teaming up with some killer spirit. Douglas waved his hands like crazy, desperately trying to dodge the insane claim. Chilling in the dark up near the ceiling, Silver couldn't stop an evil little grin. That nightmare they were all crying about. He was literally watching them right now. The captain was literally fuming. But then this super chill voice just cut right through the drama. Arnold stepped up, swearing the security boss wasn't actually capping. The boss whipped around, totally shook, while Arnold didn't even sweat it, flexing that he'd already done his own deep dive into the mess. That slick director backed Victor up, claiming the dude tried literally every trick in the book. The captain totally wasn't buying it, though. To him, vibes didn't matter, only dubs did. And fumbling the bag on catching this threat meant 0 free passes. Arnold's voice echoed with 0 hesitation, dropping a wild theory that had everyone totally spooked. Basically, there was no way a regular human could ever bypass that insane security grid on their own. Then he hit them with a plot twist that literally stopped the room cold. Even though space gremlins sounded like fake news, they were definitely facing off against some crazy, endgame-level alien freak. Chilling up in the air ducts, Silver started sweating bullets as the vibes below got seriously dark. Douglas instantly clapped back, reminding Mr. Smug that their ship's AI was literally ripped from a war cruiser. With that absolute unit of a scanner watching the halls, any trespassing beast would get totally wrecked on the spot. Arnold just smirked like an absolute villain, admitting even a regular guy like him hyped up the AI's insane stats. But then he totally cooked them by pointing out a massive glitch in their setup. Those giant iceboxes in the storage zone, totally off the grid. Honestly, who knows what creepy space horror was chilling in the dark down there. Silver's heart basically stopped as total panic hit. This guy was way too big-brained for comfort. He really had to play it safe now. Meanwhile, Captain Samuel massaged his head. Completely done with these wild alien fan theories, he told everyone to drop the creepy monster lore and actually focus on real facts. Did they even find one tiny speck of DNA or a footprint? But Arnold just hit him with a super toxic glare. They had missed one major hiding spot. Slowly pointing straight up at the metal roof, he dropped his ultimate flex. The massive maze of air vents was basically a VIP express lane for a hunter, running a clean 1 meter wide. The captain just laughed it off, saying a 1 meter space was way too cramped for any normal suspect. But Arnold clapped back with a terrifying truth. Those mythical gremlins were only 80 centimeters tall, yet could absolutely demolish a whole battleship. Tucked away in those exact same air paths, Silver's eyes flared with massive hostile energy. He instantly bookmarked Arnold's name on his ultimate hit list. This scheming genius was now the ultimate boss to beat, and Silver realized he had to take him off the board as soon as possible. Downstairs, Douglas started freaking out, realizing if the math was right, they were all basically living on borrowed time. If that creepy thing really did absorb the top scientist for an epic buff, the whole squad was absolutely finished. But Arnold pitched the most savage idea ever. Just trap the freak alive and sell it to the elite capital for major cash. Those rich snobs were literally obsessed with collecting super rare exotic pets, so they'd totally ignore the fact that it wrecked a top-tier boss. Warren suddenly jumped into the chat, asking how this side quest helped with the massive pirate fleet currently hunting them. Arnold's comeback was insanely cold. If the alien kept munching on the squad until nobody remained, they'd be sitting ducks when the pirates finally raided. To actually survive the upcoming turf war, they had to clean up their own mess from the inside first. Acting like the ultimate hero, the director hyped up clearing this secret boss monster as their absolute top goal. The stress of the whole situation hit the captain hard, dropping him into total silence before he finally glared at Arnold. He asked straight up how much heavy artillery the guy actually needed for this insanely risky fetch quest. Without even blinking, Arnold ordered up to 8 maxed-out tactical squads to clear the entire air system. Captain Samuel greenlit the heavy hitters, pretty much praying for a lucky drop. While Arnold gave a super toxic thank you, Silver was already dipping through the dark zones, looking absolutely unhinged and mad as hell, staring pure ice. He basically ripped the chunky metal vent cover completely off its hinges. He'd been pulling off the perfect stealth run, but now fate was locking him into a super messy boss fight. Thanks to Arnold's toxic brainpower, hitting the vents first was honestly a massive 5-head play. Even worse, the guards were aggressively camping every single escape path, like pros. Sliding back into his base, Silver faced the horrible truth. Even if he ditched his safe zone, the entire ship was basically an impossible lobby packed with sweaty camera sweeps. Those wrecked air ducts left him totally trapped, With zero way out, fate pushed him straight to the edge. Should he pull a crazy disappearing act, or just go full savage and wreck everyone? He kept his eyes shut in the quiet dark, letting that jerk Arnold's cocky voice loop in his head. The idiots seriously thought their human strategies were flawless and nobody could ever dodge an ambush this huge. These vents are barely 3 feet across. Winning means locking down the inside completely, keeping regular folks safe first. Take out the freak immediately. Silver's eyelids shot open, practically vibrating with rage as his neck veins totally popped. His stare burned crimson. Catch an ammo? Do I look like some dumb animal? Even if they hacked me down to just a skull, I'm still a top-tier cosmic hunter who'll tear them apart. I'm a legendary ammo. Suddenly, a crazy idea hit him. Seriously, trying to brawl with me in an air shaft? It's a total death trap for those losers. Time to show them what actual stupidity looks like. I'm gonna pull them straight into a cosmic nightmare. Mind completely set, Silver geared up to paint the walls red. He smacked his claws against his junk pile bed, making a super bright crimson ring explode underneath his massive body. Wild sparks of power shot out everywhere as he triggered his natural abilities to completely map out the kill zone. My radar will tear this whole cruiser apart. He maxed out his brainwaves, pushing them past the breaking point. His energy washed through the tubing, copying the lab boat's layout while locking onto every single guy moving around. Swallowing the giant rocket with his mind, Silver felt his entire grip on reality totally flip. This cruiser felt like a breathing creature floating through the galaxy, making me the deadly virus hijacking its metal brain. His vibe sliced right through the metal walls nearby. Spotting normal heartbeats, he dialed his focus all the way in. Reading the boat and its bosses was a breeze. Captain Samuel Yu and the head honchos were grouping up at command. Arnold was over there yelling commands, while overhead scans picked up super heavy stomps from geared-up troops. Super predictable, they broke into a double-sided attack. Silver's god-tier radar snatched up their battle plans in a flash. A killer layout clicked in his head, letting him perfectly customize a brutal trap to ruin their exact loadouts and paths. A creepy smirk spread over his sharp fangs. Perfect. Let's roll out the red carpet for my victims. Cut to the security squads, sneaking into the vents. GoPros blinked on their bulky armor as they ran a quick mic test. Alpha 1 checking in. Squad A is moving. Some tech nerd with headphones watched the panels while Butcher smashed his keyboard, bass confirming loud and clear. Squad B's live stream lit up the displays, popping with white noise right before they spoke. Bravo 1 here. We are greenlit. A super stressed mob packed the strategy room, biting their nails as the chase started. Butcher yelled into the mic. Bravo 1, your audio is trash. Fix it right now. The speaker fizzed back. Bravo 1 understands. Butcher gave them a heads up to call out anything weird as soon as possible. Arnold just stood there, arms folded, staring daggers at the monitors. That weirdo probably iced Kisaragi already. I was supposed to finish him. He frowned, totally annoyed. The mission continues, but we seriously need to wipe out these random wildcards. We can't mess around before Miss Siwon gets here. His deadly stare followed the pushing security guys. Gross animals, you're done for today. While everyone watched the battle layout, Butcher announced the next play. Alpha 1, hit the right split. Bravo 1, take the right path 2. Out of nowhere, a crazy warning flashed. Bravo 3's connection was dying, pausing for fixes. Butcher instantly replied. Understood, hit me back as soon as possible. Arnold stepped forward, bossing the radio guy around. This maze is literal suicide. Tell the teams to keep their eyes peeled. Butcher passed the message along. Base here. Push up super slow and clear the whole area. Arnold stayed glued to the screens. A glitchy display grabbed his attention. He shot a dirty look at Butcher. Bravo 3's video crashed. Demand a site check. Butcher jumped into action, maximizing the blacked out video. Bravo 3, confirm your lens status as soon as possible. Pure quiet took over the mic. Following a crazy tense break, he tried again. Base to Bravo 3, what's your video looking like? The stream sluggishly blinked back on. A super messy voice mumbled, we're solid. Catching that, Butcher instantly ordered the rest. Bravo 2, retreat and link up with Bravo 3 right now. Bravo 2 confirmed the command. The scanner showed them flipping around as their little blip drifted toward Bravo 3's spot. The stress was unreal, until both map markers literally mashed into one. Arnold, Samuel Yu, and Jay froze, totally freaked out, while Butcher yelled through his headset. Bravo 2, what went wrong? A shaking voice stuttered back. The thing is already here. Arnold completely stiffened up, icy sweat sliding down his tight face as Butcher lost it. We lost Bravo 2. The primary stream is completely wiped. It grabbed him into the shadows. Warren and Victor went pale with absolute terror. The crew screams at the comms guy, Butcher. Arnold is literally ghost white, totally frozen. Why are you just standing there? Did the cams glitch out? A guard yells. Arnold just stared, sweating buckets, utterly shook. It made zero sense. Heavily armed security just got completely wiped off the map without a single peep. Literally no pro hitman could flex a move like that. Arnold squeezed his hands until his knuckles whitened, then it clicked, sending shivers down his spine. He totally played himself thinking this was some feral animal. This hunter was way quicker and deadlier than his math ever predicted. Snapping back to reality, Arnold spun fast, yelling at Butcher. Tell the whole squad right now. See it breathing? Blast it immediately. Butcher tripped over himself trying to push the boss's angry orders to the front lines. He quickly tweaked the live map. Squad B3, link up with Squad B1 and hunt for Squad B2. Base confirming. Boss. I repeat, Squad B3. Cancel the hunt for Squad B2 and join Squad B1 right away. A sharp copy that popped over the comms. Butcher instantly swapped channels to hit up Squad B1. Squad B1 tracked down Squad B2, but only after linking with Squad B3. Squad B1 confirms. They replied fast. Arnold ground his jaw, the panic totally setting in. If this keeps up, that freak is gonna delete us solo. Right then, the radar lit up. Squad B3's pulsing marker was rushing super fast toward Squad B1's spot. While Arnold stared unblinking at the monitor, Squad B1's audio randomly buzzed to life. Base, I am hearing some seriously weird noises in front of me. Butcher instantly dove onto the speaker. Base here. Figure out what that noise is right now. On the video stream, Squad B1 was creeping ahead, gun up and locked. He kept his voice super low. Not 100% sure, but something is definitely creeping closer. Cannot see a thing because of the blind corner. Slipping deeper into the pitch-black hallway, Squad B1 checked back. Base, false alarm on the bad guy. It is literally just Squad B3 walking up. Catching that news, Arnold finally let go of a massive breath. Then, the guy's voice cut through the fuzz again. I can totally hear Squad B3 talking now. Butcher exhaled so hard, dropping all the stress he was bottling up. Base here, Squad B1. Hit me up the exact second you guys meet up. But this time, straight up nothing but crickets. Squad B1's chest cam randomly glitched and stuck. Butcher's heart practically exploded as he yelled into the mic. The video randomly swung into a totally blocked angle. Then a super creepy message dropped in. The target just deleted all of Squad B3. Every single person in the hub turned to absolute ice. Even the super tough Arnold let out a gasp. Excuse me? What? Flipping the switch, he bolted down the stairs. He savagely ripped the headphones straight off Butcher, slamming them onto his own head. Captain speaking, drop the situation report right now. Tell me what just went down. The guy on the line was literally vibrating with fear. Boss, the bloodbath went down so insanely quick, I literally could not even see it move. That lame excuse made Arnold absolutely lose his mind. You complete idiot. He screamed into the mic. His massive tantrum literally rattled the control room walls. How on earth do you not see a massive beast literally right in your face? Butcher and Joe cowered, totally stunned by the boss's insane meltdown. The nervous guy could only squeak out the saddest apology. Boss, I am super sorry. That garbage apology completely broke Arnold's last nerve. He chucked the earpiece at the ground, dropping wild, toxic insults. He was totally seeing red. His brain spun, frantically doing the math. No way. It is literally impossible to miss a whole murder fest going down right next to you. You had to have aimed the lens away from that freak on purpose. Then, Arnold's eyes randomly blew up like dinner plates. The scariest thought just smacked him right in the face. Hold up a second. He totally froze up, diving frantically to grab the thrown mic off the ground. Shoving it back on, he practically broke the button, reopening the line. Captain speaking. Squad B1, drop your entire name and rank right freaking now. Total crickets from the creepy void was all he got. Dripping with sweat, Arnold refused to drop it, saying it again. Squad B1, drop the name and rank right now or get totally busted. Commander Samuel was just standing there, wildly confused. Out of nowhere, this gross, squishy snap blasted over the speakers. And then, a super creepy voice slid right through the fuzz. Did you honestly believe you could bag me? Those taunting words barely registered before a giant, crazy sharp claw slammed down, instantly turning the video feed into total static. Victor and Joe went completely ghost white. They just stood there, mouths wide open in pure shock, watching the screen go totally dead. That brutal reality check dropped the bosses right to their knees. totally wiping out whatever hope they had left. Right in the middle of that epic doom and gloom, the comms suddenly sparked back on. Headquarters, this is Squad A1. We seriously need a vibe check on the ground situation right now. Arnold caught the frantic call, but his brain completely short-circuited, leaving him speechless as the radio begged again. A 1 here? Answer us. Meanwhile, super deep inside that crazy maze of air ducts, Silver smashed the last lens and flashed this wicked, evil little grin. Step 1 is a wrap. I am taking out Squad B first, he whispered, sliding like a ghost back into the dark metal tunnels. The hallway he left behind was a total mess, with dark red splattered all over the steel like some twisted modern art project. Silver started plotting his next play, totally abusing the stolen data that Number 6 had just leaked. Hacking into their radios with literal mind control is honestly the biggest flex, and it is working like a charm. He smirked, remembering his latest takedown in the pipes where his brainwaves totally fried the gear of Squad B3. Once they broke apart to troubleshoot their tech, picking them off was literally the easiest thing ever. Silver basically flatlined the wandering loners without breaking a sweat, just hitting them with a fatal poison spike. Trashing the last few targets gave him this intense rush, since the whole domino effect went down exactly as planned. Feeding on their panic was honestly addictive, so after finishing the messy job, the beast went right back on the prowl. His icy brain was already crunching the numbers for his next fatal trick. Looks like Squad A is up next for the chopping block. Let us go see where these little rats are hiding out. Pushing his super senses to the max, he pinged the air vents with hidden waves and bam, locked right onto their body heat. 3 geared-up dudes were sneaking forward, glued together in a super tight line. They were crawling at a painfully slow, paranoid pace, while Silver watched from the pitch black, whispering, "Gotcha." Cruising smoothly toward their zone, he noticed their defense was cranked to 11, which honestly made total sense to him. Squad B had zero clue about what I can do, which is literally why they got wiped out so fast. But these guys totally heard me faking a human voice on the radio, so they know a trap is coming. Time to use that paranoia against them. Hitting a major crossroad, the ultimate hunter just dissolved straight into the gloom. Chilling there, like a loaded spring, he knew Squad A's path would force them right through this exact choke point in seconds. Hiding in the dark with his neon hunter eyes peeking out, a super deep thought randomly popped into his head. People love saying knowledge is power, but honestly, knowing way too much can actually be the biggest trap ever. Meanwhile, Squad A was busy carving through the pitch-black tunnels with their heavy-duty flashlights. Creeping through the super-tight pipes with major anxiety, the guy up front whispered directly into his headset, "Base, we are hitting a split up ahead and grabbing the right side." The ops center instantly jumped on that update. "Headquarters here. We read your play," Arnold replied, his super serious voice cutting through the fuzz. He threw down one last frantic warning to the crew. "Captain speaking, and I am only saying this one more time. That thing can literally copy how we talk." Guns up, the 3 guys walked straight into the creepy, wide-open dark. Everyone was totally on edge while Arnold's voice kept blasting through their headsets. "If you hear anybody talking down there, shoot first." But literally the millisecond he stopped, someone started screaming from the blackness, "I am right here. Please, you guys gotta help me out." The second they heard that, one dude yelled, "That is the beast. Light it up." And all 3 just went absolutely off. A crazy wave of bright blue laser beams completely tore up the hallway right in front of them. Seeing that these pros totally ignored his trick, Silver spun around smoothly and bolted down a backup path. When the smoke cleared, and the monster was literally nowhere to be found, the boss yelled to stop shooting. Keeping their blasters totally ready, the 3 of them tiptoed into the spooky darkness before the comms sparked. "Base here. We have a lock on the bogey." Squinting hard, Alpha 1 replied. Alpha 1 reading you loud and clear. "Everyone else, freeze and step back." Base yelled the order at Alpha 1. The guys kept inching ahead through the shifting gloom, completely oblivious to what was hiding in the pitch black. Silver was literally right behind their backs, quietly sliding out these insane claws to grab the sides of Alpha 3's tactical helmet. An insane, deadly vibe hit his spine. Alpha 3 totally freaked and spun around. Base caught on fast. "Alpha 3, what is up?" The guy's eyes totally bugged out. "It is right behind us." Before he could even aim, Silver completely leveled him. The guy dropped, basically shaking like a leaf. HQ yelled over the headset. Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 lighted up. They turned, totally shocked. Their boy was stuck, giving that creepy monster a literal shield. "Stop shooting," they screamed. It grabbed Alpha 3. "It is literally using him as a shield." "We shoot, our buddy drops." But Captain Arnold was super ice cold. His chilling voice cut the panic. "I said shoot. Alpha 1, blast it right now." That is a direct order. Stuck following rules, Alpha 1 clenched his jaw. Alpha 1 moving in. He squeezed the trigger. A crazy storm of blue plasma blasts wrecked the hull. Knowing it was toasted, Silver tossed the guy and dipped. The insane blue blast scraped its thick skin. Super toxic blood drops literally flew everywhere. Seeing a quick turn, Silver dodged into the dark so he could lose the guys chasing him. Any spot that mutant blood hit the metal grate, it sizzled and completely chewed through it. Alpha 2 smacked his headset, totally pumped on adrenaline. Alpha 2 here. We got guys completely wrecked. HQ basically ignored the awful news. Nobody falls back. Catch that thing, no matter what it takes. Meanwhile, back in the wrecked hull, the totally insane aftermath of the trap was a complete mess. Alpha 3 dropped hard, totally terrified while his neck heavily bled out. His crew scrambled over, holding up their fading friend. They completely panicked, checking his awful wounds. Hang in there, bro, firing up the emergency zaps. A squad mate totally smashed passcodes into his glowing wrist tech. Alpha 3 squirmed in crazy pain, coughing up mad blood. Once the rough first aid actually worked, Alpha 1 radioed in, looking super serious. Alpha 1 here, our boy is stable. Getting back to the chase, HQ hit them up right away. Base reads you. You are completely cleared to push forward. The duo pushed into the dark, following the freaky vibe. Totally furious. I'm going to absolutely wreck that mutant. They found Silver's super creepy blood trail. Looks like we actually hurt the weirdo, someone whispered. Getting low, they checked out the horribly melted metal floor. Alpha 2 gulped. This is wild. Its blood is straight acid. What is this thing? Guns up. They checked the creepy dark crossing. Totally stressed out, they looked down a super dark, insanely cramped air duct. They second-guessed it. That is super tight. One guy breathed. Alpha 2 tensed up. So, what is the game plan? Alpha 1 looked serious and did not even blink. We go right in. Squeezing into the creepy dark, he connected with base. Alpha 1 asking for the battle juice. We need max power for this monster. A moment later, the boss answered, you are cleared for the power shots. Getting the okay. Alpha 1 slammed the suit needle right away. The intense stuff flooded his system. His red eyes popped wide open, shining with this crazy gold light. The terrible hangover of the drug totally wrecked him. He dropped down, his body twitching like crazy. It took awful moments to finally handle the insane drug rush. His body stats basically skyrocketed straight to the max. His shaking hands literally dug huge scratches into the heavy metal. Totally boosted and steady. Alpha 2 punched the floor hard. I am going to completely trash that gross mutant, he yelled. Looking mad icy, Alpha 1 led. I am taking point. Staying low, they moved through the super tight metal tubes. Moving up even a bit felt dangerously sketchy. All of a sudden, Alpha 1 stopped. Up front was a massive burnt hole, completely melted by Silver's toxic blood. Alpha 1 sneaked up fast. Turning on his gear light, he cut through the spooky blackness underneath. Both juiced up guys chilled right at the edge of the steamy hole. Checking out the fall, Alpha 1 checked in. Alpha 1 here caught a huge hole in the duct. Not seeing any freaky signs of life down there, the target definitely fell into the bottom hull. Their headsets instantly buzzed back. Base checking in on your current status. Drop your exact spots right now, so we can start a huge radar sweep. The duo basically had zero clue. The absolute boss monster, Silver, literally popped up right behind their backs. Totally missing the danger, Alpha 1 kept talking. Nearing Farm Zone C-06, exploiting that fatal blind spot. Silver dropped out of nowhere like death itself. The guard's super senses kicked in, spinning him around to face the falling nightmare, while he just started blasting. Silver didn't care at all, just eating the bullets and charging straight ahead. The dude shrieked in absolute panic right before those freaky claws totally crushed his head. Blood splattered everywhere over the metal room, racking up another kill before Silver just dipped. Seeing the mess, the other guard snapped, his eyes totally completely raging. He was giving off intense murder vibes while Silver casually dragged his buddy's body off. Totally losing it, the survivor sprinted after the monster, spraying bullets everywhere like crazy. Not wanting to play the victim, Silver tossed the dead guy over his shoulder and whipped his insanely sharp tail at the guy chasing him. Because of the power juice, the guard dodged the deadly strike and zoomed in super fast. He started throwing a massive combo of super punches, swearing at the beast out of pure rage. A brutal punch smashed into Silver, totally denting his creepy armor, though his sick defense kept him alive. Shrugging off the hit, Silver flipped around and melted into the dark, totally playing the guy. Lasers wrecked the walls, while Silver climbed up a pipe like it was nothing. Realizing the creepy freak ghosted him again, the super soldier looked up and just screamed in anger. Way down in the base's metal vents, Silver easily snaked through the maze to ditch the heat. Creeping around with crazy smoothness, the beast's big brain started plotting his next play. These guys are way too tough, Silver thought to himself. Running straight at their roided-up bodies is basically an automatic game over. Gotta change up the tactics. Scratching his armored head with a freaky claw, Silver chilled in the dark to think. Normal jump scares were not going to cut it anymore. These hunters had insane reflexes now. He needed a totally different way to mess up their squad. Then, a super dark idea popped into his head. Hold up, there was still one guy left behind. Back in that messy hallway, Alpha 3 was still crying in massive pain. The dude barely opened his eyes just to catch Silver's nightmare shadow standing right over him. Faster than a blink, Silver threw himself right at Alpha 3. Staring down the freaky smoke-breathing beast, Alpha 3's eyes bugged out in total fear, his mouth shaking while he gasped. Silver shoved his freaky face right onto the guy's helmet, making Alpha 3 totally freak out. Slamming him down super hard onto the metal floor, Silver stabbed a crazy sharp claw straight through Alpha 3's chest. He lifted the guy way up, making him scream his lungs out, and just ripped off a piece of meat. The beast swallowed it whole right there, while a massive puddle of red flooded the floor. Loving the thrill, Silver wiped the red off his mouth. His plan was locked in, leaving Alpha 3's mangled body with literal bones showing. Super carefully, Silver posed the dead guy to make it look like he was sitting up. He fixed the helmet, setting up the ultimate bait. Being crazy smart, Silver stomped down, totally smashing the camera lens on the guy's head. In a split second, the base's video feed completely cut out. Alpha 3's camera was totally dead. Silver's brain was buzzing. He knew the guards would think it was an attack. Exactly like the monster guessed, Base Camp instantly blasted out a massive panic warning. HQ yelled that Alpha 3 was under attack. Hearing the chaotic message, another guard sprinted back super stressed. Seeing Alpha 3 just sitting there, the guy froze up and creeped toward the trap super carefully. Walking closer with his gun ready, he quietly panicked. Yo, Alpha 3, you alive, bro? Dropping down next to the totally still body. Nobody answered him. Shaking while poking his buddy, he begged the guy to talk. When nobody answered, the guard started furiously tapping his wrist pad. Smashing the buttons, he whispered that he needed to start the mega healing process immediately. Out of nowhere, a crazy sharp spike busted through Alpha 3's chest and stabbed the other guy's neck. The dude choked horribly as the super messy claw slowly slid back out. He instantly fell backward, squirming on the metal ground. Grabbing his heavily bleeding throat, he choked on pure pain while the freaky weapon hid back inside the dead body. Shaking like crazy in a massive puddle, the dying guy looked over. His eyes went tiny, completely wrecked by the most insane fear ever. Just like an absolute demon crawling right out of the underworld, Silver slithered out of a 3's empty husk, creeping toward the totally panicked victim. Tipping his head back, cursed dark smoke poured from his mouth, absolutely soaked in fresh red. The monster watched his terrified target pathetically inch away from guaranteed doom. Boom! Silver teleported right over him. One massive claw grabbed his head, the other completely crushed his throat. Tearing off the guy's helmet, he dangled him sky high. Getting uncomfortably close, Silver dropped a seriously creepy, unearthly whisper. You are going to be a super juicy experience. Point drop. The dude's eyes went wide with pure terror, crying heavily. Showing zero hesitation, Silver ripped his head right off, sparking a massive red fountain. Flexing his twisted new prize, the beast cracked his mouth open.